you please welcome Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Welcome to Australia, welcome to the show. Congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
Obviously, monstrous success, but why Mormons?
Why not?
They're funny. They like to sing.
Yeah. We grew up in Colorado, which is right next to Utah, and so we would go to the Mormon temple just because it was funny. And we really actually grew up with a lot of Mormons. They were a lot of our friends and even family. My first girlfriend in high school was a Mormon, and so that was the first time I got to experience a big Mormon family, and was like, wow, this is actually pretty great. I can make money off of this someday.
Well, the Mormon Church have had an interesting reaction to the show. They've upped their advertising. I think they put ads in the program. Were you expecting that kind of reaction?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
smart,
Mormons
isn't
do.
it?
They're so smart, and they kill you with kindness. They really like
out-nice you.
Yeah. And they actually in New York they took out ads in the playbill, so they're paying us for the ads. And their ads are like, hey, you've seen the show, now read the book. And it's just like
so confusing when you're reading the program. You're just like, what?
No, but that's what really for me it's been a lifelong thing of going, wow, these people are really nice. Maybe I should be one of them.
So do you care what Mormons think of the show?
No, but it's fascinating. Yeah, there are some Mormons that view it as kind of their Fiddler on the Roof. And so, we got a lot of Mormons come to the show in New York that really like it.
And the show's played Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
We're going back to Salt Lake City for the second time. There's a ton of Mormons. I think a lot of them have a sense of humor. There's probably some that don't like it. But
I was expecting it to be a lot meaner than it was, and I think in the end
but
it's
no one
not
wants to go, get all dressed up and spend that much money, go out to dinner and sit there and watch 2 hours of people being mean.
Yeah. Right.
It's
not
like
what musicals aren't.
It's not what musicals are about.
No, but the thing is, it's not your average musical, though. I saw it in New York, and I saw it the day after I saw The Lion King, and it is nothing like The Lion King.
There's some similarities.
But how much are you trying to get the line between still having the elements of a traditional musical, but sort of being a bit out there, or you just don't care, you just do whatever?
Well, it's definitely a traditional musical. I mean, it definitely has that structure and has that sensibility, but just when we sit down to write it, somehow it just comes out offensive.
We're just offensive people. We don't try to be offensive.
We tried to make a traditional musical.
We tried to write Lion King, and this is what came out.
But congratulations, boys. It's the best-selling production in Melbourne ever, 159 years. And there's a sneaky way that people can still get tickets, though, that we hear. A cheeky way where you can sit down the front.
Very cheeky.
Yeah, cheap tickets.
But we did the same thing in New York, and it was basically because, a lot of our fans were like us. We were before South Park, where we can't afford a $100, seat, whatever. So we started this thing in New York where we do a lottery system where people can show up and basically,
before 2 hours before the show, they put their name in a hat, and then you can go for I think here it's $40, but it's a relatively cheap ticket. And it was important in New York and here too because a lot of those are our most rabid fans.
Yeah.
And that makes the production better. The audience is important in a Broadway show.
It's front row too.
But hang on, is that a sign that they're in the cheap seats because they're going to get called up on stage?
They're in really good seats.
Front row. I mean,
that front row is when you.
They're to energize the actors too, because they're so happy to be there. They're good fans. So.
Yeah.
All right, we have to take a break. You guys have to stick around because we have nothing else planned, if that's okay.
Oh, good.
We'll see you very, very soon.
Next week on The Project, he's currently #1 and 2 on the charts. Friend of the project, Ed Sheeran, is joining us Monday.
Sweet.
Live in the studio.
We do have...
That's Monday on The Project.
Welcome back, you are watching The Project, and welcome back also Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Would you take on any other religion, do something similar to Book of Mormon?
We've done pretty much all of them.
But as a musical?
I think they could all be musicalized. It was just that again, Mormons is what we grew up with, so it's what we knew the most about. And it's probably, there's certain religions you probably wouldn't get a lot of money to do. That you wouldn't be hard to get financing.
But let's get on to South Park. For anyone, 20 years it's been now, and for anyone, there's an amazing documentary that you guys have done called 6 Days to Air. And funny enough, it actually followed you guys after your premiere of Book of Mormon back in 2011 on Broadway. 6 days it only took you to creatively come up with one episode of South Park, to put it together with the animation, record all the voices, and you got that in with 20 minutes before it went to air. I mean, what is it now? I mean, you did that documentary a while ago. How long does it take you now to do one episode of South Park?
20 minutes to spare is pretty good.
It's so irresponsible. Isn't it? It's just, when you say it, I just feel so irresponsible.
Because the thing that happens, so Thursday morning we show up, and that's when it's like, okay, we have a show on Wednesday. It's really like kind of a Saturday Night Live schedule, where it's like we've got a show airing on Wednesday, so we show up Thursday morning. We're like, what should we do a show about? And we're like,
6 whole days.
Well, it's only Thursday. Let's go home and relax. It's like so. Then we
Every week we do
Friday,
that.
and we're like, oh, it's only Friday. So it's pretty irresponsible.
Well, so you need that kind of deadline in order to be productive.
Deadlines are inspirational.
So how did you write a musical? Because it's not.
It was hard to switch to a new kind of creative process. We had good partners and people who showed us how to do it, but it's totally different. That took us 7 years.
But it was still the same. It was like taking those 6 days and spreading them out over 7 years. But it still came down to the first 5 years of going, oh, we've got 5 years. And then getting down to the end going, oh, God, there's a marquee up on Broadway. Like, we better write this.
Yeah.
You guys are super ballsy. Some of the stuff you've put on screen and on stage, do you embrace the controversy? Do you enjoy it? Or do you sometimes kind of shudder a little bit?
We never set out to be controversial or offensive. Like we said, we just are offensive, and we just accidentally. But we're always like, time after time, we're like, oh, of course that we got into another problem. Like, of course we did that. We didn't even mean to, but we never set out to do that. We just end up there.
Is there one that you felt particularly bad about, or
No.
What's the best reaction that you've got from a celebrity? You've gone Matt Damon, Tom
My
Cruise.
favorite, it was actually because, and I think it was because I wore her dress to the Oscars, we saw Jennifer Lopez at a party, and all Jennifer Lopez did was walk past me and push me.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
Is there any celeb that you haven't gone at because you respect them too much?
Each other.
Just Trey. I would never make fun of Trey.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
And have you ever dropped anything because even you decided it was too offensive?
No.
I don't know. We always try to find a way, if it's funny, to make it work. If you do it right, you can make it work if it's smart. I mean,
but we're just never sitting there going, talking about the offensive part.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
The show airs and it's like, oh, this was really offensive. We're like, oh, it was? Oh.
So one of the things you make work extraordinarily on South Park is a character who dies in every episode. I mean, it's remarkable that you can pull this off, but you do it very well. And that, of course, is Kenny. Kenny's based on a real-life person. I understand. How does that real-life Kenny feel about
He was named after one of your friends, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Kyle and Kenny, and I mean, the thing is that all the characters in the show are based on a mish of a lot of different people. And like I had, the worst one is, and he could so sue us, because I had a counselor, Mr. Lackey. And it was the first time I started doing voices, because he'd walk down the hallways and go, how's it going today, boys? And we'd all go, fine, Mr. Lackey, how you doing? Okay? And he never knew we were all doing his voice back to him,
What about Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo? Is that based on
a real person.
Yes. We do know him. Yeah. He definitely could sue us.
Do you have any idea how it's all going to end?
We've been thinking we're just going to get run out of town at some point, but we've thought that for 20 years.
I mean, you've done theatre now, animation, you've done movies. Is there any burning desire to do anything else?
We're talking about opening a restaurant.
Yeah, restaurant.
A really offensive restaurant.
Yeah. Next time we'll be back on your show, it'll be for a restaurant.
All right, now to find out where you can see the Book of Mormon, head to the links page on our website. Would you please thank Trey Parker and Matt Stein.